how I got into communication, specifically working with leaders. I remember it was in 10th grade. So, 7th through 10th, I knew that I wanted to do communications, but I didn't know what that would necessarily look like. But I'd figured out two things. I loved it and I was good at it. And I think if you can just add that triangle of what also is going to support you, you've got the perfect trifecta there, right? But I had 2 out of the 3 at that point. When I was in 10th grade, I remember it was a history teacher. I think I've heard it on your podcast too previously, of rising tides rise all ships. Lifts all boats. And he made this comment, and I said under my breath, I was kind of sitting in the front of the room, so he heard it. I wasn't trying to foment anything or be disruptive, but I said, well, he could be the moon. And he, the teacher kind of let it pass. But he approached me after class, again, as usual, I was a new kid, had to remind me, you have to raise your hand in this class if you want to say something. But what do you mean you could be the moon? And I had mentioned to him that comment is very, very commonly attributed to JFK, right? He's talking about, I know it was more popularized by him, even though it had been around before, when he was in the 1960s talking about the economic development, all that. So we started having this conversation about that. And I mentioned, JFK, he's the president. Like he could be the moon in that situation. And I want to be the moon. I don't want to just rise the tide. I want to control it. I want to influence it. I want to be with other people that do the same. And so he made a comment to me, which was, I don't think he probably realized how helpful it was at the time, but he said, well, you're going to have to find some people that are also doing really big things if you want to be able to impact and influence things the way the moon does, right? So obviously proverbial speaking, but I remember going home that day and thinking, okay, I've got the communications. I know that I'm good at that and I want to do that, but now I also know I need to do that and learn from people that are doing and impacting big things. I didn't know what that looked like. I was 14.
Yeah.
But I did know that was what I wanted to do at that point.
That's cool.
So it was, he probably wouldn't even remember that conversation. But it was very impactful and very directional and where I knew I wanted my career to go.
Wow.
At that point.
That seems pretty solid path in your mind at a pretty early age.
I think I was very blessed in that sense that I didn't go through kind of those musings in high school and college of, could I go in this direction?
Yeah.
Should I go to business school? Should I do psychology? I knew really quickly, and I never veered from that.
That's cool.
That communications was what I wanted to do, and that was what I was good at. As to how I would be successful at it or what that would look like or where I'd wind up, I didn't really know. But I knew that I wanted to learn it from the best, even if it wasn't the best communicators. Whatever I was doing, I wanted to be learning under the best. So fast forward to working where I do now, that couldn't be more true. But it took some...
Yeah.
It wasn't a seamless path.
Yeah,
of
sure.
course, there were bumps in the road, but I am blessed that I knew that was what I wanted to do and relentlessly pursued that.